Hey folks, this is Mike Tango Whiskey coming at you with another Hurt Feelings Report. This is episode 18. In the Hurt Feelings Report, I go over the previous week's comments, highlighting, is that highlighting? That's pulling out, highlighting the best insults and the best insights. The past week has been pretty positive. I didn't piss many people off this week, so most of the comments have been really positive or insightful, so this is going to be a relatively positive Hurt Feelings Report, which is great. I love that. It seems like the more my channel grows, the more positive it becomes, so hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, we're approaching, we are approaching 18,000 subscribers here pretty quick. I'm right on the precipice, Let's see, dashboard. 17,986 subs as of right now. So that's pretty good. I'm excited. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel for the 68% of preppers, blue collar, white collar people, relative normies, living in the suburbs, working in the city. That's like 83% of the population. So the 68%, one standard deviation from the middle of the bell curve, it's the majority. I think most people who are into prepping are in that 68%. We're not the tactical operator tier 1 ninjas, and we're not like survivalist off-grid bushcrafter woodsmen yet, right? We're probably working towards one of those ends or both of them, but right now we're not. We still have like soccer responsibilities and, you know, shop at Costco, stuff like that. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. So what videos did I put out this past week? Let me look. I know that today a shill spill dropped. That's freebies and stuff people have sent me. Yesterday I had a pretty successful video post, Empire is Crumbling, about situational awareness. I had my axe video where I finished my custom cold steel axe. I put out an AI video that didn't really get a lot of traction, but talking about fake content from preppers on YouTube. Or not fake, but AI content, which is fake. And then a flashlight video that wasn't too hot. Yeah, so about 5 videos this week. Looking to keep up that pace, but those are the videos, so all of the comments that I'm gonna be referring to will go back to the previous Hurt Feelings Report about 6 days ago. So let's jump right in. So I pulled this one out to highlight it, and then I'll go from the top down. So in my video review of the LDS Preparedness Manual, I got a lot of comments, a lot of members of the LDS Church commenting, and former members too, commenting on that video. Quite honestly, I've gotten a lot of correction. It hasn't been overwhelming, but it's been a lot. Like people correcting me on the name of the church, the fact that the LDS manual is not an official book of the church, lots of those. They're like, actually, the church did not put this out. It was a member of the church who wrote it. And funny enough, the guy who wrote the LDS Preparedness Manual reached out to me and sent me the version, the handbook number 2. So I'll probably be doing a review on that too, like a part 2 to the first video. But lots of correction from folks in the LDS church, talking about everything from doctrine to... So anyway, I opened that video with a joke that I commonly tell. So I am a facilitator, and when I facilitate to groups, me having 8 children is one of the few things that, you know, stands out. It's not normal. It's not normal nowadays to have a lot of kids. So I have a big family. It's one of the few claims to fame that I have, right? I think it makes me cool, based, right? So I tell that joke right up front. I have 8 children. They're all mine, all on purpose, all from the same woman, not Catholic, not Mormon. Those are the 5 things that I say when I tell people I have 8 kids. Now, I've been telling that story for years, and I used to say it when I had 7 and 6 kids. I had the same line. It's a good opener. It makes people laugh. The reason I say that is because when people hear that I have a lot of kids, they make some basic assumptions. They assume some things about me, okay? And that's where that statement comes from. So I'll get into what those are here in a second. So just FYI, the Church of Jesus Christ, that's what the LDS Church calls themselves now. They dropped Latter-day Saints, I'm pretty sure. It's Church of Jesus Christ. Condemns polygamy and excommunicates people who have multiple wives. The teaching has been rejected. So I'm not sure where the jab at the beginning came from about having children on purpose or from more than one woman. Pretty wild take, man. Okay, first of all, it's not that wild of a take. I know the church doesn't do that currently, but like there was a connection in the past to that. Stereotype has followed the church for a while, so it's not that wild or out of. But that's not what that statement's about. My joke about having 8 kids, all mine, all on purpose, all from the, has nothing to do with being Mormon. Okay? The reason, and I said you completely misunderstood, all on purpose, all from the same woman, has zero to do with LDS. Those answers, they are answers to the most common questions I get when people find out I have 8 kids, which are based on stereotypes about people who have large families. Namely, some of your kids must have been accidents or the result of a blended family. So, all mine, the first people, when people see I have 8 kids and that they're mixed race, people go, oh, did you adopt? All the time. All mine. That answers that question. Did you adopt? All on purpose, because the second assumption is, oh, well, you must not know what birth control is, or they must be accidents. No. Every single birth, every single child was through intention. We decided to get pregnant, we got pregnant, and we had a baby. All on purpose, okay? The third thing that people assume is that they are from a blended family, mixed marriages, right? Where I got divorced and I met my wife and she already had some kids, so all from the same woman. All mine, all on purpose, all from the same woman. So when they wrap their head around those 3 things, oh, okay, they're all yours, they're all on purpose, they're all from the same woman. Oh, you must be Catholic. Nope, I'm not Catholic, because Catholics tend to have more children, right? The Catholic Church is against birth control, whatever the background is of that, Catholics tend to have a lot of kids. And the last thing that people assume, maybe in reverse order, sometimes they assume I'm LDS first. They assume that I'm Mormon because I have a lot of kids. So that little joke, my little quip, opening, it's not a jab, okay, my opening joke about me having a lot of children is that I'm answering those 5 questions that pop into people's heads first, almost in that order, when they hear that I have 8 children. Okay, so I'm addressing the unspoken assumptions and the unspoken stereotypes that they make when they hear that I have a big family. It's not a jab. It's got nothing to do with you and the church, and so just and for the record, I've told that joke in front of large groups of people for years. I mean, dozens and dozens of times, and I have never had anybody respond like this. So your take is pretty wild. Not my take. Your take is wild and outside of the normal response. So take that, my friend. Okay, going back into the comments. Are you ready for hard times? Someone said, did I quote Betray Us? I thought it was a quote. It says, be polite, be professional, have a plan to kill everybody you meet. That was Mad Dog Mattis with the be polite and professional quote. So good correction there. It was General Mad Dog Mattis. Yeah. Words to live by on the situational awareness. I'm going to call that, no, I can't call it SA because that also stands for sexual assault. So on the hard times video, words to live by: keep your powder dry, watch your 6, and never pass up an opportunity to find common ground. I love that. Same video, hard times. It's not falling apart. It's being destroyed intentionally via controlled demolition. Yeah, I agree. And there's a book out there called The Controlled Demolition of the United States. Is that by Jack Spirko? Same video, hard times. Someone says, the strong like you will survive. I got the best times. 1964 to the present. Those might be the best times. I'm sick and on my way out from sugar disease. I just don't know when. I wish you well. I think you'll make it. Thank you, sir. That's depressing and positive all at the same time. I think we're all probably dying of sugar disease to one degree or another, right? Unfortunately. You think I'll make it? Yeah, thank you. I mean, we all die. We eventually all die, but this was a good one. I had a couple comments on the Hard Times video from like people who live in like global comments, which is cool and exciting, but also depressing. Like people are making comments about what's going on in the UK and other countries, and it's looking like the crumble is happening everywhere, which is depressingly confirming. Hello, this is kind of long. Hello, greetings from Korea. This isn't only, Hard Times is not only in the US now. It's occurring all over the world, currently in Korea. Prices are getting expensive. Suicide rate, unemployment rate have reached the state of national bankruptcy. Many things are happening. Supermarket in Korea, you're gradually seeing items being sold out of stock. At night, you don't see people on the streets. There used to be a lot of people on the streets, and it's safe and secure. I can attest to that. I was in South Korea in 2015, and the city was bustling. It was near Seoul, obviously. It's a huge city, 25 million people or something. And even some of the smaller cities were always bustling. Nightlife was great. Korean media does not show articles about suicide rates or missing people. Everything is hidden. People don't have money right now. It looks like a lot of things are going to change. Our civilization seems to be at its end. Yeah. Okay. Someone else said, same video, Hard Times, this is a controlled demolition. Out of the ashes, the phoenix will rise. NWO. See that? That makes me nervous too. Who? These videos that get popular quickly, they reach a different demographic. I don't know what that means. Are you part of the New World Order, or are you saying that it's a good thing? Someone said, I did a post about staying 100% human, trying to encourage other preppers on YouTube to stay 100% human. I did a video and a post. Mike Tango Whiskey looks like he's about to drop a mixtape. It would be the dopest mixtape ever. It would mostly be house music and hip-hop music, but house and hip-hop from when house and hip-hop was house and hip-hop, which is the 90s, just in case anybody was wondering. There's some pretty good stuff out there now, but you know what drives me crazy about music is there used to be like 2 different types of music in each genre. Now there's 50. Like there used to be heavy metal, hard rock, maybe soft rock, maybe like 3 kinds of rock. And now there's 40. There's like, I don't even know all the names. There's just 50 different categories, and electronic music. And I long for simpler times. Hard Times video. Speaking of breaking up fights, mosquitoes out here. I'm a paramedic and went to a shooting outside of Buffalo Wild Wings. The guy who was killed had been at dinner with his family and went outside to break up a fight. Car rolled up and shot him for interfering. Killed him in front of his family. One of my members says, yeah, when I was young, I was foolish and craved dangerous situations. That's why he joined the Marines, Schmuckatelli. Now I'm too old and crave peace. By the way, it's a valuable lesson. Yeah. Prepper 101, right? If there's mobs of angry and upset people, don't go there, right? If there's, I think situational awareness, that's a tragic story, man. That makes me sad. But yeah, I don't want to comment anymore on that. Okay. I said on the Hard Times video, I said, I'm always in orange I use the code system, right? White, yellow, orange, red. I said, maybe I'm always in orange because I'm a dude. I don't know. And Haraya Homestead said, let me put it this way. It's not because you're a dude. Us women are constantly at level 3. And I got a lot of people in the comments, like senior age, probably around my age, females who said the same thing. Like they have to be in orange all the time. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Which is unfortunate. And I think they should be. I'll be, when I'm out, like when I talk about people being kind of like not paying attention, I see guys on their phones, like walking around with earbuds in downtown, you know, right on the street, or someone in here said on the edge of a subway platform, like facing their phone. But I really get nervous when I see lone females like walking around downtown in the dark with that just, I have daughters, and that it scares the hell out of me. It really does. It makes me nervous. So situational awareness is important for both, right? For men and for women. Probably more so for women. Yeah. Okay, there's the polygamy comment. It's not what I was saying. The nation is not just crumbling, it is transitioning. Cooper's color code has a condition black at the top where there's freeze and panic. When scanning, look at the eyes. Look hands and then eyes. So Cooper's color code that I talked about in that video apparently has a 5th level now. It's a black level, but I don't think the original one had that. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. Freeze and panic, that's an interesting one. When scanning a room, look at hands, then eyes. I try to make eye contact with everybody that I can. I want to see their face and kind of see what they're doing. So when you're in orange or in yellow, kind of scanning around, yeah, it's helpful to look at hands and eyes. I like that. It's a good piece of advice. I would love to see your family of 10 actually, tactically moving through Disneyland. Oh, we did. we have tactically moved through, like in the grocery store, we're like snaking around all the blue hairs, avoiding traffic, the lanes of traffic in the grocery store. It's important to remember 2 things. Not every situation, while scary, requires lethal force. Only use a firearm as a shield of last resort, not a sword. Know the law. Former LEO Chuck Haggard is known for saying that it's good to have something in between a harsh word and a gun. That's great advice, right? Something like OC spray, Palm OC spray, because it's the strongest formulation available to civilians. Lots of people have talked about Palm. Very effective and reliable. You should carry it in your store. MTW, it's also good for keeping beards red. Okay, that's too spicy for me. Yeah, Palm. So I'm pretty sure I said that in the video. Like that Cooper's 4 stages, the red for a cop probably ends in lethal force more often than us. Like cops don't really retreat, when faced with a deadly threat. Part of their job and scope is to engage those threats. But for us, for civilians, I'm pretty sure I said that, like you're really in orange. If you identify a threat, you should already be maneuvering to avoid that thing, or at least, get in a tactical position for it. But then yes, when you reach red, like something needs to happen, your first instinct should not be to draw your weapon. If you have a weapon, it should be to retreat. You get the crap out of there, right? What's the best strategy for surviving a gunfight? Don't ever get into a gunfight, right? Don't go to the place where that angry or excited mob is. Like, oh, what's going on over here? And then suddenly you have to retreat from it, right? Yeah, good advice. So for us, for the 68%, when we reach red, we should be looking to retreat. Prepper's Bible, so the LDS manual. Okay, so this is kind of a slam on LDS, but he gets positive. So after getting past it, they don't believe the important things about Jesus, and they think Joseph Smith is more important than Jesus, and the Book of Mormon is more important than Scripture. I know some people are going to comment about that. I have always found them to be interesting and friendly people. The women are beautiful and intelligent. I think the Amish got them beat on being prepared. They're out cold, literally. They don't proselytize to the world outside of the community. From what I understand, their theology is more like Methodists. Yeah, I love we still are close friends with a Hutterite colony in Montana. Really great people, interesting people, very generous and warm people. And Hutterite colonies are super interesting because they build up a colony. They're very independent. They kind of pool their money together. It's like Dutch and German. They speak something that they call Low German. So I speak a little bit of German, and the German that I speak, they call High German. But I could understand it's neat seeing all their scriptures in German, eating in their houses, like all the doors stay open so they can walk into each other's houses. It's just a very interesting community, very self-sufficient, very good with money. They teach their people trades. If you have a chance to tour a Hutterite colony, that's how we first got in with this particular colony. I won't name them by names, but they're all over the place. You can go to a Hutterite colony and get a tour, and they'll give you a tour of their kitchen and their cafeteria and their carpentry shop and their welding shop and their mechanic shop, and it's very interesting. It's a good model in a lot of ways for what prepper communities are trying to strive for. Yeah, it's really cool. Go check it out if you can. Michigan Silverback says, General Mattis, he says, stay in your lane. Yeah, stay in your lane, Sheriff Force. Laugh out loud. This is the me and you laughing at our discussion. Yeah. Me guessing which Marine Corps general to quote from. He's like, stay in your lane, dude. Quote your chow hall generals. Stay out of our, yeah, I get you, Michigan. I don't know what this means. So situational awareness, so hard times, someone says, I won't even call him out, says, remember folks, the number one thing you can do for your survival is to build your gay polycule. When nobody else has your back, your 3 boyfriends will. Now, I don't know what that is, but I said, is there a color-coded model for that? And someone else said, don't go there, dude. Hanky code is a game trail you do not want to go down, says the dude who likes dudes and was stunned and appalled. Rabbit holes are something different and you don't want to know. I gave you a thumbs up because I don't want to know, okay? I won't be going down any of those rabbit holes. So thank you for helping me not do that. Civvy prep, civilian preparedness. Me and him are going back and forth. We have the same great ideas at the same time. I did my situation, my hard times video. He's gonna do one soon. He's doing a beige man video, or he already did one, and I'm gonna do my gray man stuff, which is probably gonna be beige man. I'm gonna steal the idea from him. He says, we always do the same videos. I was just about to make a situational awareness video inspired by a crackhead I see anywhere in my area within a 7-mile radius. Yeah. So, yeah. Tactical Muffin Top agrees with the hard times video. I'm going to be doing a collab, I think tomorrow, with Tactical Muffin Top. I don't know what to expect. He's going to have me on there with other people. We'll see. Hard times. Wyoming, one of my loyal watchers says, one of the causes of modern people not being aware is the teaching of not judging others. The other is them only being concerned with themselves and how other people are there to entertain and serve them. In order to be aware and control your environment, you must learn to judge and assess risk factors, which means not worrying about entertainment and distraction. A good example of how this is the guy you work with. Okay. Yeah, this is a good point, right? Part of modern kind of PC culture is don't judge others, don't judge the judging, I get the whole, obviously I get the racial, you don't want to keep people back or hold them down based on the way they look, but I love being pleasantly surprised by people, right? When I make assumptions about people, I love that they disprove me. I think that's great. But I kind of agree with Wyoming here, and I'm not talking about race necessarily, but when we're constantly assessing other people, I think that's a biological thing where we are designed to assess danger, right? That's part of it's only during soft times that we can afford not to do that. And I think as hard times come, that luxury is going to become less and less available. It's going to be less and less smart to not assess people based on what kind of threat they pose. And that can be based on all kinds of things, not just not race or anything like that, but the way people are acting, the way people are looking, the way like I watch a lot of people when I'm in the city, and I watch their behavior more than anything else. And I think paying attention to people's behavior can tell you more than necessarily about the way they're dressed or the way that they look. So my favorite movie is A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. Love that movie. And in that movie, the murderer at the end, when he convinces the main character to come into his like torture dungeon, he says, "It's hard to believe that the fear of offending can be stronger than the fear of pain. But you know what? It is." Yeah, people will, the hairs on the back of their neck will stand up. Something will tell them something's not right about a person, but they won't want to say it out loud because it's offensive, or it might upset them, or it's going to disturb the... No, trust your gut, trust your instincts. Yeah. People put themselves in really bad positions because of that, I'm sure. I got this really long one. The rider on the white horse. So the Hard Times video, rider on the white horse, Trump is the serpent man. And he defines serpent, and then he quotes a revelation. The rider on the white horse carries a bow and was given a crown. This is kind of a stretch. So look, I am a full-blown conspiracy guy. I will entertain almost any idea up front. Okay, if you tell me the earth is hollow and that's where the reptilians live, and they're called draconians, and every once in a while they come to the surface in skin suits and they steal children to eat them and drink their blood. That's horrifying. Okay, but why do you believe that? Give me your, I'll entertain anything. I'll entertain any idea because I think all the information we get is mostly based on deceit. So I'll entertain anything because there might be some truth to it, right? But sometimes people pitch something to me and I'm like, that feels like kind of a stretch. So like this one, so he's tying, I think, Trump to like I'm not sure, it's so long. The word bow in Strong's word toxin. Our modern day word for toxin is toxin, meaning poison or venom. The coronavirus jabs were the poison or venom used on all humanity. Corona means crown. Trump grew up in Queens. Corona Park is in Queens. If you look at the pictures of the pavilion at Corona Park, it looks like a huge golden crown. Duh. See the dots? You know that picture that Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia, like where he's connecting all the dots? In simple English gematria, Trump equals 88, toxin equals 88, poison equals 88, Pegasus equals 88. Pegasus is almost always depicted as a white horse. Asclepion is also 88. The serpent entwined rod wielded by the Greek goddess. I'm not knocking your spiritual math here, bro. 8 plus 8 plus 1 plus 2 equals 19. S is the 19th letter. S, comma, Satan, comma, or the serpent, the ending line from Trump's snake poem he recited at his campaign rallies. You knew darn well I was the snake before you took me in. I hope this information is helpful. It's not very helpful. Yeah, most of it was over my head. Not saying you're wrong or that it's not all true. It's just sometimes some of those connecting the dots seems a little thin, but I'm willing to entertain it. But I laughed. I didn't laugh because it was ridiculous. I laughed because I'm likely to entertain it. I'm like, oh, tell me more. How many 88s can we find? Gnostic, one of my buds, he says, concrete is 8,500 years old. Okay, thanks, Gnostic. I am in a constant state of orange. My wife is in a constant state of denial that anything is wrong in the world. We balance each other out. I hope your wife is not watching this, Gnostic. But that's good, though. Unfortunately for me, like, I'm this paranoid, and my wife is like this paranoid. She's more of a gangster than I am. So we don't balance each other out very well. We balance each other out in a lot of other ways, but this way we're like full-blown down the rabbit hole. So it's pretty funny. Carol, my longtime commenter says, as a general rule, the Hard Times video, if you're present as a civilian, not a cop or first responder or military, your best option at red is to get away. Use that as the default. Only if there is some other reason, perhaps you can render first aid or medical help, do you do something different. Yes. You get into red, you get the crap out of there, right? Someone else says, I'm not waiting till red to get away. Red is pretty much too late. So in orange, they're getting out of there. Yeah. That's a good tip, Carol. That's a good way to think about it, right? It's the first step. Someone talks about colloidal silver in response to the Prepper's Bible. I didn't talk about that, I don't think. Maybe the book does. I didn't go in depth. But as a prepper and an LDS church member, I recommend learning how to make colloidal silver. It's insanely good antibiotic that has personally saved my life through severe infections, external and internal. Works for me faster than traditional antibiotics without allergy and gut biome problems. Easy to make and cheap with just distilled water, glass jar, 12-volt car battery or other 12-volt source, and silver wire, chain, or even 2 halves of a silver coin. Colloidal silver will save thousands of lives in the last days when traditional antibiotics are hard to come by. That's a good tip. I am not a doctor. Please don't try this recipe and say that I told you to do it. This guy says, as a member of the LDS Church, we are the original preppers. I was like, come on. Your church is like 200 years old, man. People were what we would call preppers and self-reliant way before that. Think about the frontiersmen, and yeah, that might not be older than their church, though. Original preppers? Definitely preppers. It's baked into your culture. I'll agree with that. But original? I don't know about that. Okay. Collection of lightly used tools. This is in response to my axe video. How dare you? You know what was funny? So at the beginning of the Hard Times video, I showed this hatchet. And I talked about how I refurbished it, but then I noticed a crack. You see the crack right there on both sides? And like 15 people got in the comments and were upset because I said I wasn't going to use this. They're like, fix the axe, fix the handle. That deserves blah, blah, blah. They were outraged that I said this was just going to hang on my wall and be unused. I make whole videos on axes and nobody was upset, or I don't get as many comments on those whole videos as I did on this one little hatchet. Why is this hatchet so deserving? It's not even, it's vintage. It's a vintage top, but it's not valuable. I have other hatchets that I've made. I have whole piles of axes that I've made. What is it about this one? Everybody's all fired up. They're like, save the axe. Oh, save the axe. It's like, save Ferris. I'm like the sister. Okay. But yeah, I'll fix it, okay? Someone said you could drill through here and like glue a wooden dowel. That's a good idea. I might do that. But I have calm down, people, okay? I have a lot of axe projects that I need to get to, so. Prepper's Bible. So I must have used the word broadcasting in that Prepper's Bible video. So this is, I'm not going to call him by name. This may be a FUD. You remember I talked about radio FUDs? So I used the wrong word, and he corrects me. Ellipses. You were broadcasting? I hope not. I hope you were transmitting. There's a legal difference. One gets you sad hams and maybe a fine. The other one gets you friends. Radio stations broadcast, TVs too. One-way comms intended for anybody. Basically, you're taking over repeaters or other equipment and not allowing people to use it. Do you think that that's what I was saying? Or is this just your opportunity to correct me for using the wrong word? I'm not saying you're a Pharisee, sir, but you're a Pharisee. I can't stand Pharisees. I don't tolerate Pharisees. Apparently I do, because I just read your comment. Someone says, you and City Prepping are the best and most informative channels on YouTube. Rational, realistic, and comprehensive. Aw. All the others are alarmist and goofy. Keep up the exceptional work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sensible over city all day. Mike Tinga Whiskey is there, though. Yeah, curious nobody. Thanks, man. Appreciate the... Yeah, I love City Prepping. That's other people have compared my channel to his, and that's good. I like that. Good comparison. My AI post, that video didn't do very good. I thought it would do better, but it was kind of a call to other preppers, but the clicks didn't get there. That's okay. I loved my thumbnail. Maybe that's what it was. Someone says, amen, I will never use AI on whatever I make or post. There's a lot of people responding. There's been other YouTubers who have responded saying that they wouldn't either. Wasteland by Wednesday, Chris pretty much said that he's, wouldn't use AI for his channel. Doomsday Queen had said that too. She was saying that she doesn't use AI and she wouldn't use AI. There's been a couple other smaller channels that have said the same thing, and some other videos from other channels that have come out. Someone sent me an email and said, dude, he posted a video that posted after my video, and he's like, bro, come on, they're clearly watching your channel, which I love that. And again, it doesn't really upset me. I think the more the merrier. If we're making good content that say the same thing, whatever, that's cool. Food shortage, riots. So is today the first? Oh, today's the first. Today's the first. That's when. But what did I hear? So I hope I said it in that video that I feel like, every year, twice a year or something like that, we face a government shutdown, and inevitably, it's like political theater. Inevitably, what happens is they reach some last minute midnight deal or something. So I think I heard yesterday that a federal judge said that Trump had to fund SNAP benefits. I think that was yesterday. So maybe there'll be nothing, right? Which is kind of the point. A lot of people said in response to that video, they go, nothing will happen. There will be no riots. What are you doing? This is fear mongering, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. All prepping is kind of that, right? What might happen? What can we do to be more prepared if it happens? If it doesn't happen, so what? Good, great, perfect. I'm glad that it didn't happen. But I do think also that this is an opportunity. What I'm going to try and do is go back, and when preppers put out these videos and then it doesn't happen, we should go back and say, this is a reason to calm down, because you prep for it. And if it doesn't happen, great. We don't let that video hang out there, right? So maybe I'll come back and make a correction video on that and be like, wonderful. You know what I did to prepare? I basically doubled up my grocery trip. So we have groceries for closer to a month instead of groceries for a closer to 2 weeks, right? In addition to the pantry. So that's great. You're going to eat that food. There's no harm in having more food, right? But in response to that video, someone says, you're correct, sir. Stay away from crowds. Don't be out after dark. Head on a swivel. Dress poor. I like that. Chris, Wasteland by Wednesday, 100% human. I asked other preppers, I was like, commit with me to be 100% human channel. Chris is there with me. I think Doomsday Queen said it too. So, yeah, Chris, in response to that AI one, it's not just the prepper sphere, it's every niche on YouTube. Yeah, every other platform. A growing number of them do not really have humans making those decisions. They're LAM agent managed channels that are just for advertising income. You pick a subject, set the parameters, and link the agent to various resources like VO3 and some stock material like storybooks, and you let it run. Ugh, that's what I'm talking about. Freaking gross. I have been and will continue to be 100% human-generated channel. I'm right there with you, bud. Glad to hear it. Yeah, that's great. When I see an AI thumb channel, an AI thumb, I clicked don't recommend channel. I couldn't find how to do that. I got to figure out how to do that. If the audio is AI, I click don't recommend channel. If the video is a montage of stock images, I click don't recommend channel. No human, no viewing. I was actually very pleased to see how many people in the comments do that. How many people are not watching. If it's an AI thumbnail, they don't click it. If it's AI content, they don't click it, or they click don't recommend and they get out of there. A lot of support for that idea where they're not supporting that kind of trash. I'll call it trash. It's trash. It's trash. No Pass, No Fate says the best way to combat the political support and corrupt, diverted taxpayer funding of AI is to use it to create videos that ridicule and embarrass those in charge. First, it trains AI to be better at ridiculing and embarrassing those in power, but also it makes them feel vulnerable to AI. Plus, most are narcissists, some clownishly and malignantly so. No, Pass, you're using such big words, it makes me hard to read. If they're constantly seeing AI videos of them doing embarrassing things, they will turn against AI over the course. This is an interesting theory, right? So I'm like, don't ever use AI. No Pass, No Fate says, use AI against those in power. That might work. That's not a bad idea to me. I like that idea. Like if politicians feel like it's endangering their votes, maybe they'll start taking action against it. That's some like anti-Skynet stuff. I like that. I like that idea. I won't be the one to do that, but maybe somebody should. Someone said for the AI video, books are going the same way. I put a disclaimer at the beginning of all my books now stating that I don't use AI for any of it. Entire books content are being AI generated and put together. It's nearly in an instant. That makes sense, right? You just give it parameters and it spits out a book or a novel. God, so gross. Sheepdog 45, I have been and will remain so committed to not willing to partake in anything AI. It's demonic and I refuse to willingly and knowingly have anything to do with it. I agree. Modern Refugee, you will never see AI on my channel. It's all me and my experiences. I even make my own thumbnails. Don't support the Borg. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're one of the few. Yeah, Modern Refugee, great channel. 100% not 100% human, right? That's the commitment. I need a stamp. I put a watermark in my videos in the bottom corner now. Hopefully it shows up where it's 100% human made. I'm going to try and spread that too. We'll see. Someone says, I use AI for all my comments and have not a single issue, banana, umbrella, orange, chair, and plan to continue using it. That's a joke. That's got to be a joke, right? Yeah, AI for all my comments. I wonder often if, like, my channel's growing pretty good. We get like 50, I get like 50 subs a day. And I wonder if some of those are just bots, you know, and I wonder if the comments are bots. I don't know. I can't tell yet. Someone says, agreed. What we need on YouTube is a slop rating. 1 slop, lazy AI thumbnail. 5 slops, lazy video clips of perfect people being perfect. Keep it real. I love that. Mr. Beer Drinker says, I am with you, Mr. Based. He keeps calling me Based. I agree. I love you like dandelions because you foretell warmer weather. So Beer Drinker in my comments is coming up with the I love you like. Every single comment, he's way ahead of me. I'm going to start stealing his stuff because I can't come up with them as fast as he does. AI video, what an insightful video. We can use this to train more authentic AI. We love it. Make sure to subscribe. We love AI. We love robots. Please do not call us clunkers. And I said clunker. So clunker is a derogatory term for AI that we're developing in advance. When AI takes over, we have a slur ready to use against the AI. Clunker, I believe, is from Star Wars. It's what he used to call the robots, the droids. What am I getting warnings on my phone? Probably AI warnings. Okay. This one was on the You're Welcome for Your Freedom video. When people ask me what I did in the military, I say I typed. That stops all civilians in their tracks. No one has ever asked me what I typed. Nice video, yeah. So food shortage, someone says, no one is going to be looting and rioting. This is ridiculous. Hopefully it is. I don't know what to say to that though. Like when large amounts of people go on social media and say very specifically what they're going to do, hopefully they're full of it and they're lying and they're just being, you know, ridiculous on, hopefully that's what it is. But like if I'm out in public and somebody gives me or my family a dirty look, that doesn't bother me. I don't care what people think. When they get on my radar, when they get in my orange zone is when they're ballsy enough to open their mouth, right? When somebody's has enough gall to say something directly to me, now you're on my radar, right? So when people run their mouth, I hope they're just being stupid, but I plan like they're not. I plan like they're backing up their words and they're going to do what they say. Most people won't, and that's a good thing, but I'm a prepper. So when thousands of people go on social media and say what they're gonna do, I plan for that. Doomsday Queen, she watched my last live, which is really cool. I talked about, we're gonna do a collab at some point, and I said to have a conversation rather than an interview, and she was like, conversation is 1,000 times better. Yes, ma'am. She was in a car accident. I hope she's doing better. She was banged up though, so. She says she'll come hang out in my lives. I hang out in your lives. You better come hang out in my lives. Someone says there's not going to be any riots on the 1st. I said, awesome. Thank you. Is this the same guy? Yeah. He goes, I subbed to your channel. I'm hoping I don't regret it. I'll do my best. Look, thank you for the sub. I did thank him for subbing, but part of me is like, I can't let the expectations of strangers drive my behavior, man. I can't. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Can't do it. My radio video, someone says, came to the comments to see the sad hams. By the way, I love to see videos like this. It's great to see people helping to explain radios better, especially the wattage talk. Yeah, thank you. And MacGyver 5108 says, 3 basic principles of radio. This is good. Height is might. A watt is a lot. Antenna is everything. That's good. I love that. That should be on a t-shirt. That should be in a video. Height is might, a watt is a lot, and antenna is everything. I love that. I'm going to steal that, bro. Thank you. I did give you credit, though. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? 4 days back. Okay, another heart. Here we go. So my food shortage video, I told people to stock up. Very few can stock up. This is moronic. All caps. I said yes, but there are many who could and don't. This message is for them. She also posted another comment on the same video. This is making it worse. Me telling people to prepare to not is making it worse. Maybe the food shortage, right? I didn't talk about a shortage because I don't really understand how a shortage would work anyway. Does this flashlight work? Hey, look at that. I had a hidden flashlight over here that I didn't know I had. So, yeah, telling people there's going to be a food okay, maybe. But according to you, it's not going to happen, so I don't know. Thank you, ma'am, for your comment. I appreciate you. Food shortage. This is fear-mongering at its best. The mob, laugh out loud. Do people really live in such a state of paranoia? If so, I feel bad for you. If anything, I will be looking out for people I can help, not clutching my pearls. I don't own pearls. See who can give me that reference. Well, I don't own pearls. Great movie. Fear-mongering. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm a prepper. I try and help people think about things in a way that would... Oh, here's another one. Huh? How would we have to fight against mobs? If folks don't have food stamps, they won't go to the store. Not all FS are distributed on the 1st of the month. This is some clickbait and completely hateful, disgusting. And then there's like 150 exclamation points. So I said hateful. The only thing I hate is your abuse of punctuation. Like ellipses, when people use ellipses and they go dot, 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 it's 3. It's 3 dots. That's an ellipses, okay? And your exclamation points in all caps are redundant, okay? So, hateful. Me telling people to go get some food so they don't have to get hurt at the... That's hateful? Who am I hating? Your exclamations are hateful. You yelling at me in my comments. Your words are violence. Okay? That many exclamation points, that's violence. All caps, that's violence too. Yeah, when videos get popular quickly, it reaches a whole nother group of people that are like outside of my normal viewers, which is okay, I guess. I guess that's growth, but... my old Hurt Feelings report, someone said, I recall getting a heart after a comment, but didn't get the call back. Then again, it wasn't a hostile or trollish comment, so maybe that's why. Well, Noah, my friend, you got a heart on this comment, and here we are. You are in the Hurt Feelings report, sir. Sometimes I miss them, Noah. I'll do better. He says it's all good. So this is me doing better, Noah. Noah is a regular attender of my Sunday night lives. And he lives in NorCal, I believe. He's full on in prepper mode. If I remember, you're supposed to be a fireman by now, Noah. Hopefully you are. No hurt feelings here, though, man. You're a great dude. Okay. So food shortage riot. I think someone commented about my lightly used tools. That's an ongoing joke that all my tools are lightly used. Here's a sad note. So I was in the process of shaping this head for that, or shaping this handle for that axe, and I was using my draw knife. So here's a downside. You guys see the grain there? I caught an edge, completely ruined this handle. God, I was pissed. It just caught an edge right here and there's all the way down. So there's a downside to using a draw knife because of the grain, you know? Plus, I don't know what I'm doing. Completely ruined, lightly used, but this guy says, show me the 10 millimeter socket. Now, for you, those of you that don't know and maybe aren't tool people, there's more wisdom in that comment than any other tool comment. The way you can judge a man's tool collection really is by his 10 millimeter socket. I'm not sure why, or I'm not sure how the engineers all got together, the engineers who make everything from lawnmowers to vehicles to, it's mostly vehicles where I experienced it. So my years as a body man, a body mechanic, an auto body technician, the 10 millimeter socket is the most common socket, I think maybe on the planet. I don't know about Europe, but definitely in the US, which is weird. So even you'll even see things that are built with like a 1/2 inch socket, a 9/16 socket, and 10 mil. So like 10 mil is the most common socket in the most common accessed parts of the most common machines and machinery. I have no idea why that is. And it's millimeters. My son, who's into 3D printing, he prefers the millimeter system. It's a major problem in my family. It makes perfect sense to him. He goes, 100 millimeters is, like the equalness of it works out for him instead of fractions, which I get, but 10 mil. So thank you, sir. He says, show me your 10 millimeter socket. And I said, I can't. You know that it's lost. You thought you had me, but you didn't. You didn't have me. I understand your inside joke, sir. Okay, Hurt Feelings Report, HFR 17. I agree. The hiking, lightweight camping, and hunting communities have a lot to teach us, and adding a bit of bushcraft and military know-how makes sense. Military skills like navigation, not that one, comms, fieldcraft can really help, though most troops rely on logistics. Bushcrafting is a form, is about thriving long-term, while getting a get-home bag is about short-term survival. Using what you prepared to make it back safely, yep. Your way of thinking opens up new possibilities. I appreciate the time you put into each video. Thank you, Airborne Veteran Do. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Oh, who gets in? Talking about the friend video. Make sure that you have a productive partner as well, because people may turn you down because I had a small group out there and had to give up. That sucks, yeah. Because people were lazy. Work ethic is definitely something that is waning because that's because of soft times. It really is because of soft times, right? Yeah. Someone said about the LDS handbook. Amy King says, you're confusing the Mennonite with the Mormons? Mennonites and Amish teach, yeah. Are there any more hearts? We're at 6 days. We're at 6 days. First time hearing TOTC. Yeah. Turd on the carpet. Turd on the carpet. Let's see. 6 days. Okay. Hurt Feelings Report 17. Ooh. So, well, hi there, who always just posts in the comments, nice. And then I go, yep. So here, well, hi there, has something else to say. HFR 17. Well, he says nice, but then in parentheses, he says, about the digital ID. I live in Europe, and it's been a little over 500 days since we had a government still trying to form one. I don't think they have the resources to do it. So that is a good piece of intel. The government, I saw this in, where was it? A state just south of me, Oregon, where Oregon tried to do some sort of weapon registration, or you needed permission. You needed a permission. You needed to get, to an application to get permission to purchase a rifle or a gun. And the administrative red tape behind that law was so heavy and so complicated that they weren't able to implement it. Now, I don't pay attention, so maybe they've done it since then. That was a few years ago. But this is good. This is kind of like AI. Like AI, what AI can do really hinges on the humanity's willingness to adopt it and to implement it, right? Like the infrastructure has to be in place first. So there's been plenty of things where the cabal or the elite or whoever is pulling the strings has tried to do something and it hasn't been successful because of humanity, which is great. I love that, right? It's kind of like during COVID when they were trying to do all this crap, and ultimately what it boiled down to was a teenager standing at the door trying to enforce the governor's ridiculousness. So that's why it didn't work, right? Because at the ground level, it just falls apart. It's not reasonable. So we may be able to rely on that, especially with this digital ID. Like just the implementation of it may be so cumbersome that it falls short, right? I talked about it before, but in my state, the governor was trying to do the contact tracing brigade, a group of 1,500 people to track down everybody who had been near somebody else who was sick. Just terrifying, but ultimately freaking impossible and ridiculous, which is really great. That's the best thing to happen to tyranny. It doesn't have the gas. It can't keep up, right? It gets gassed trying to implement itself. That's the best possible scenario. HFR 17, someone says, Artie, a curious nobody, already at 17,000 subs. Love subscribing to these channels and watching them grow so quickly. Soon, Bear will be saying your name on a feed. That'd be cool. Thanks, MTW. Love the HFR. Your witty snarkasm and refusal to explain yourself is greatly appreciated, sir. Snarkasm. So that is a great term that I will steal from you, curious nobody. I feel like I've stolen terms from you before. So you're batting 1,000 here. Yeah, snarkasm. I love that. I said thanks for the great idea on the video. Also, I'm stealing the phrase snarkasm. So it's official. It's stolen. It's mine. Thank you. I gotta think what's gonna make it into my thumbnail here. The Radio Basics video, great video. I gather you're a technician class operator. Yes. I help host a amateur technical Q&A net. While most of what you said about movies is pretty accurate and correct, there's still some ways to make it happen. The little ear radio, he says at the state-funded DARPA level, it does exist. I think I said that in my video, but yeah. HT is handheld transceiver, which someone else commented on last time, right? Also, the Baofangs, the big ones, are legit 10 watts. I've got UV5R pluses that are test out at 8 watts. So yeah. Yeah, so he comments on some of the radio stuff. Most of it was pretty accurate. And I think I acknowledged that in the video. It's like, it's not all perfect. Some of it might be off. I'm not an expert. I know just enough to get me into trouble with the FUDs online. So food shortages. So this is Modern Refugee. He says, meal planning works for us when stocking up, taking care of everyone and being alert and cautious. Yeah. I think, did I do that in the last HFR? I want to see if I've gone too far back. Yeah, I think I did. So I am all the way back now. So let's go straight to the top just to make sure there's no comments that came up in the past few minutes. We're under an hour, so that's good. Beats, Rhymes, and Knife, great channel. If you guys don't know, go check his channel out, new channel. I used to run a Vertex Ready Pack as my daily carry bag in the States. It's an awesome bag. Yeah, I'm hoping today I can do my Vertex Ready Pack video. I should be able to do that here today, so. This guy, he says, I'm not trying to be rude or snarky, but Jeff Cooper isn't just some guy. He is and was the grandfather of modern combat tactics. Okay, yes, sir. Sorry for that. He created the 4 rules of gun safety. Oh, I didn't know that. He started the whole idea of civilian tactical training, competitive shooting, and he conducted multiple studies on how the body reacts to combat stress. In fact, if you look at old training videos versus new training videos, you can clearly see the before and after of Cooper's influence. He does have a great book. That book on self-defense, I forget exactly the title, but it's a really good book, and it's an easy read too. That should be in every prepper's library. And I'm pretty sure I said that last time. So this guy says he'd recommend the Eberly Stock Fade collection. Everything is on sale. Ooh, really? The 21-liter transport for EDC. Yeah, the Fade series is kind of, I feel like they're following what Vertex has been doing, but they look like a pretty good group of bags too. So the transport, I believe, is like 21 liters. So, okay, I think that's it. I'm going to call it quits for now. Try and keep this under an hour for this HFR. You guys know I appreciate you. Like I said, we're about to hit 18,000 subs. Maybe we did it during this video. Let's see. Probably not, but 17,991. By the time this video posts, for sure, we'll be at 18,000. So I'm going to do a giveaway at 20,000, I think. I'm going to do a giveaway, a cool giveaway at 20,000. So I have some ideas there. I already gave away a bunch of my backpacks, so I'll have to give away something cooler for that when I hit 20,000 subs. But I appreciate you all, and I will catch you in the next video. This is Mike Tango Whiskey, and I'm all clear.